will now allow any other contributions we want to get from any of our support team. So that we can start sharing with you tools we believe might be able to help you navigate this part. This mic is still not okay, so you have to use this one. There's one here. So we'll just, can we?
Check, 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 check. Check. Mic check. Check, check. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. How was the break? One of our CEOs is not here. Okay, so our student CEO, at least he's honest enough to say I'm a student. All right, so let's look at what we have done so far. I hope I have caused you to think, because that's part of the reason why I'm here. We will do, and I can assure you we will do, but I want you to think before you do. Okay, so let's quickly look at who do you serve, Gongon, when you say you want a business, and how are you going to serve that person? When you now define your niche and you want to center on that person, how do you become customer focused? The first step is customer focused leadership, meaning even you are obsessed about your customers. You cannot tell us that you switch off your phone at 9 and then tell your staff or whoever works with you not to switch their phones off. Your leadership is important. And the number one type of leadership in this world is self-leadership. I hope you know. It is only when you lead yourself right that you can lead other people. Or people will look at you and your example and like, why are you telling us to do this when you're not doing this? Second is you must, and it is a matter of must, you must be solicitous about feedback. You must ask people, did we do well? What else could we have done to make you do well? And to make you feel that we delivered for you? How could we improve our product? How could we improve our brand? How could we improve our service? Because people will have feedback about your product or their service, and they will keep it back. And they are your best form of research and development. If most companies developed the feedback given to them by their customers, a lot of us will not be in business. Consultants will not be in business. PR people will not be in business. A lot of research and development people will not be in business. Because your customers will say, if only they had a variant that had mayonnaise, or maybe they had a variant that delivered between 8 and 9 in the morning. If only they were open till 8 o'clock. If only. But if you don't think about it and explore it, then you need to empower the front line. One of the greatest surprises I had in 2018 was that I bought a shoe from a company in Nigeria and they didn't deliver on time. And when they delivered a size too small. And this was delivered to me in VI. I was doing some work for a company in VI. And when they were bringing my shoe, my actual size, 3 days later, they brought a pair of slippers. No, they actually brought the shoe and a complimentary pair of slippers. You guys heard it wrong. They brought my shoe. You couldn't imagine it in Nigeria that they brought a complimentary slippers. They brought it and they brought a complimentary slippers. And I said, why? They said for the mix-up, that they usually don't mix up people's orders. And I was like, really? And you can be sure I buy stuff from them. Then you must design your experience. That's your experience, you know. Imagine somebody now who wanted to launch an online business and still wanted to spend money launching it offline in a big way. Can you imagine? Does that make sense? You could have done a teaser campaign targeting all the people you want to buy from you and say to them, something big is happening, watch this space. Until you can, you know, launch the actual web page, actual app, actual Instagram, or whatever, and then say, follow this page for more. Now, if you notice some brands that are sticky, some of them started, you know, offline, and they were particularly difficult to take online. But now that they're online, they're so sticky, the value proposition is so engaging that they almost become an addiction. Gambling is one of them. Do you know? I study all kinds of business models to see what I can take away from that business model that I can use to make my business better. Do you know how much people spend on gambling in Nigeria daily? Do you have an idea? It has fallen a bit, but it's still as high as about $500 million a day. 500 million naira a day, yes. It was COVID that brought it down. One of the businesses was doing about 700 before, 700 million naira a day. The most popular one that you see around, Baba Jehu, was doing like 300 a day. 300 million naira a day, yes. But guess what is the value proposition? You will get rich one day. But guess what? But guess what? Join us now. If you give us 100 naira, we'll give you 500. So people will say, really? So I joined. I fund my online wallet with how much? 100 naira. And they credit me with 500. I was like, can you imagine? But guess what? You can't cash out the 500. You can't cash it out. So guess what? You spend it. You have to start playing. Now, by the time they finish that, once they finish that 600 naira, what are you going to do? You have to top it up. So now imagine somebody who sells clothes. If you sell clothes and you say, buy 5,000 naira worth of clothes from us, I will credit your online wallet 1,500, which you must use to buy clothes from us. Can you imagine? When you now buy something from us that is supposed to be 6,500, we'll discount it and sell it to you at 5,000 naira. Can you see that hook? But you'll have done your costing very well to make sure that what you are selling at 5,000 naira, that you priced at 6,500, actually something that you actually manufacture for about 4,000 naira. How many of you believe there is free anything? Buy one and get one free. If you do believe it, you need to go. You shouldn't be in this class. There is nothing in business that is free. We will have done our cost estimate properly to make sure that when we reach this particular point, what we're giving you is marginally irrelevant. Okay? Then you must measure everything in your business. You must be able to measure it. Whatever you can't measure, you can't predict. Whatever you cannot measure, you can't predict. Okay. How long does it take to supply your customers in or your state? How long does it take to supply your customers in Lagos? How long does it take to manufacture one piece of your product? How long does it take to manufacture 1,000 units? How many people will it take? What resource or resources will it take? What is the lead time to order those things? What is the lag time before the final product is done? You must be able to measure it. That's why people go to the Dragon's Den or any business, incubation show, and they'll tell them, and they'll ask them questions like, so how often can you scale this? The question seems complex, but it's a very simple question, meaning from this small stage, how much of it can you make? If you don't measure it, you won't know. Okay? So, and then you must understand your customers. I've talked about customer insight. Now, digital natives and digital migrants. Digital natives are the guys who were born into the digital world. For a lot of us here, if I look at our age range, we were told that when we were born, we did not open our eyes until like a week, right? That's what your mom told you. That's what my mom told me too. But now, the point is the kids we're having now, they just come up with their eyes open. They're like, where is this? Nigeria? Where? And the point is, it's even going to get worse in terms of digital embedding. The guys who were born in 20,000 in the year 2000, do you know they'll be 25 in the next 4 years? Do you know some of them are out of university already? Aha. Now, guess what? GSM started in Nigeria in 2001. So those guys were born into the digital age. By nature, they want to do everything online. Money is online. Work is online. Food ordered online. Books read online. Even wives now acquired online. Wives and boyfriends and all of that acquired online. How would your business attract these people? How? Must be online. And so this was what we asked them. They said first, the business must be agile. Agility to them means that business must be available across all platforms. Same business must be on WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything. Agility across platforms. Then the business must be collaborative. The business must be able to design products for each individual or for a group of individuals. That is why a particular network provider will say, buy 2,000 naira worth of credit or 500. Then press a particular number. We will ask you whether you want it for data or you want it for voice or you want it for both. We'll split it for you. We'll put 250 in data and we'll give you 250 for, meaning we want to know what you use it for, even if the value is the same, okay? Then they want the company to be innovative and data-driven. Now we've come back to what again? Data. And then they want the business to be customer-centric. So, critical performance indices that you must have. Customer uptake and conversion rates. How many people click on my ad? How many people respond to my ad? And from all the people who respond to my ad, how many people buy? How many people see my posts? Then retention and loyalty. How many people buy over and over again? If people do business with you once and they don't come back, there's a problem. Then growth and expansion. How do I grow in the right direction? What do I even grow in? Do I grow in brick and mortar, meaning buildings, or I grow in servers and software? Which one is better? It depends on your market. Then what will drive my profitability? At what point can you even say you are profitable? At what point in your business can you say you are profitable? Some of us don't even know what our break-even analysis is. That is, it is only when we have sold X that we have broken even, not to talk of making. If you're a fashion designer now and you take a shop and that shop is 2 million naira, how long would you have to sew? How many dresses would you have to sew to be able to make money and be able to take out 2 million naira and say that's profit? Most of us don't know because we run small businesses. Somebody gives us a contract now to make dungarees or overalls for a factory, and it's a 4 million naira contract. He just removed the 2 million on top of it and said, yes, I have made profit. Really? Really? And then sustainability. Sustainability talks about being in business longer than you. And then there is resilience and business continuity. What happens when if COVID strikes again? Some businesses in some parts of the world are having to shut down again. I hope you know. The federal government is saying we are not going to shut down Nigeria. But have you noticed that we're quickly getting close to the obituary rates that was between April, August, September last year, where people were just dropping dead? Have you noticed? This one dead after a brief illness. Another person dead after a brief illness. What about business continuity? Let's assume now that you lost your phone and you lost your diary where you keep all your business details. Would your business continue? Some of us, our businesses will crash. Some of our best customers will call us and will say, hello, Tanya. Yes, because that's the place all of us keep data. No data in the cloud, no data to back up, no data to restore. Even let's say you're a fashion designer now. How do you keep your designs? Okay, so how is your business doing thus far? Do you still have a business? Do you guys still have a business? Nobody's talking to me. Oh. Do you still have a business? My architect friend, do you still have a business? Okay, thank God. At least he can say. I understand the feeling actually. There's so much to process, but we'll simplify it right now. Right from now on, we're simplifying it. Okay? Let us simplify. Let us look at what new trends that you've noticed, and let's use a very simple tool. Last week was SWOT, right? This week, this is what we're using. This is what is referred to as the pestle analysis. The P is for political. If you look at SWOT now, some of us are in places where in industries where the CBN is pumping money. SWOT may not actually capture it that much. It will just capture it as an opportunity. But that opportunity is political. It could change. Some of us in places where we have tax incentives. And we don't even know. Some of us could have grants and we don't even know. So the P is for political, the E is for economic, the S is for social, the T is for technological, the L is for what? Legal, and the E is for what? Environmental. Remember, the people building homes with PET, their biggest quadrant is what? Environmental. They're solving a problem. They're building homes, but their why is mostly environmental. So we're going to do this. You can do it like this if it makes sense to you. Next slide, please. Thank you. Yes. Political, economic, societal, technological, legal, and environmental. Okay? So we'll do this. No worry, we're going to do it practically. After we do this, we'll then do long pursuit. Long pursuit just means we'll then create this into 3. One is local, the other is national, and the other one is what? Global. Do you get it? We'll then split the other one. We'll split this one into 3. Political, that is local, national, that is then global, economic, that is local, national, and global, societal, that is local, national, and global, and it allows you to know exactly. Can we show the next slide? Thank you. No, the next one after this. Yes. Do you understand now? We will break the pestle into 3. Very local, maybe state level and local level, national, and then what? Global. Some of us have access to international markets that we have not been able to tap into. So having done that, I want to say thank you. Let the real work begin. Please show us this slide. The pestle slide. Oh yes, thank you. This one. So I want you to draw this up. So I want you to write your business on top of it and what your business does. I want you to write it. You want to build homes. What are the political things you must consider? What are the economical things you must consider? What are the societal things you must consider? What are the technological things? What legal things? And then environmental. And I'll come and see it. When you're done with that, we can do the local, national, and then global. There'll be some businesses that it's not the local that will kill you, it's the national that will say no, or the global restrictions that will say no. So I'm going to give you some 15 minutes to do that. And after that, I'll come and look at it and we'll review it before we go. Thank you. Ma, what is government policy or anything that can be determined by the government that affects your business? Let me give you an example. Do you want to cultivate rice? There's an anchor borrower scheme. There's a fund. There's a fund even for fashion too. There's a fund for agric. How does that help your business? Does it help you in terms of funding, or gives you grants, or gives you tax rebate? Is it positive or negative? Before you write anything in any of the quadrants, always put positive or negative in front of it. Does this help your business? That means it's positive. Or is it against your business? Yes, sir. Oh, okay, yes. All right. Let me break down now. Let me break it down. Can we have the slide before this? Political talks about political stability, corruption. Do you have to pay bribe? There are a lot of things that SWOT doesn't take into cognizance, that PESO takes into cognizance. Do you have to pay Shawakuduru? How can we dodge Shawakuduru? Technology helps us to dodge Shawakuduru now. Do you know, if you put up a shop now right in front of this place, it can be up to one day. Local government people will come and say advert rates, right? Or your state internal revenue people will come. FIRS will come. Abi, all of them will show face. Foreign trade policy, tax policy, funding, grants. Do you have any? Do you qualify for any? Then the economic part of it. Is there economic growth? When there's economic growth, people have more money to spend. What about interest rates, inflation? Do you remember Xerox computers? Do you know that at a particular time, they were giving people computers and asking them to pay in 2 years? Do you remember? A lot of people ran away and threw away the computers. Do you remember GT Bank saying you should dial a particular number and you can get a loan, max 5 million? And it was so easy. Have you noticed they've restricted it now? Only salary workers from a very good place can collect that loan. What happened? People defaulted, didn't pay. Inflation, like I told you, disposable income of consumer, labor cost. You could also put transportation costs here, haulage. Want to do cassava? Do you have a capstar? Do you need one? How much is a capstar of cassava now? Social demographics, population growth, age distribution, cultural barriers, consumer views, workforce trends changing, technological, emerging technologies, maturing technologies, copyrights and patents, production and distribution, research and investment, legal regulation, employment laws, consumer protection laws, tax policies, antitrust laws. All that is now legal. Now, some of you don't understand. You go and start you start a limited liability company and you have not made 1 naira. You have to pay tax separately. Tax avoidance is better than tax what? Evasion. There's a difference. Then environmental, climate issues, environmental policies. I want to be making tie and dye. Availability of inputs, corporate social responsibility. There are some people, there are some businesses that don't advertise. It's their corporate social responsibility that advertises them. So these are the things we need to think about. So I'm going to give you 15 minutes. Think about it before you write it. Yeah, okay. Okay. Now, let me tell you what I want you to realize by doing this. If I can take a guess, that the list that we will list out here of our concerns will be environmental in Nigeria, followed by legal, followed by economic, because we already know where we are. The most important thing will be technological, because it is changing everything, followed by social, and then followed by political. Two edges. That's why I said, put a positive to it and put a negative to it. I want to see you do at least 2 in each quadrant. Put a positive one for political. This is a political window that favors me. And if you can't find any political that says, it doesn't favor me. Funding and grants could be something that favors you. Foreign trade policy could also favor you. Now, corruption will never favor you. Forget if you think it favors you now. My brother, my sister's brother's uncle's father is the one there now, so I won't pay. It's okay. They will take him away. He's the director in charge of so and so and so. Because of that, they will register my own free. Okay. He's not the only one that is there. They will register it free, but it won't be in the database. By the time the Igbo person says, let me check it out. That was why I said environmental and legal. Nigerians don't even think about it. When you ask them to do personal analysis, most people will not write anything about environment. You know, there is availability of inputs. Let me tell you, as of today, a lot of young ladies who used to go to Aba to buy fabric, they can't go because of IPOB. So can you imagine? So if you're telling me now you want to be selling materials and you want to be going to Aba, and I know a lot of people who used to do that, they can't go. And they have to touch it. You know, I was speaking to one of them yesterday. She said, the problem with technology in Nigeria with buying fabric is that they will show you one thing and send you another. That's what she told me. They will show you chiffon and then send you lycra and send you nylon, polyester. I know it is creating more problems for us because I want us to think. We did SWOT last week. It was pretty easy, right? Aha. Now we have to do PESTLE. The problem with PESTLE is it takes a bit of the things we don't think about. Now, let me give you an example. You open a shop and you don't think the area boys are going to come and give you tickets, only for you to realize that every day you must buy local government ticket of 1,000 naira. And you realize that's 31,000 naira. Let's say you even work only 25 days in a month or 26 days in a month. 26 times 12 is a lot of money. Or let's say you deliver things. You do things. You have products that you have other people deliver for you. And the federal government has hiked the registration of license plates now. So your third-party distribution channels, partners are going to say, that delivery that we're doing for you at 1,000 naira before is now 1,500 naira. Did you factor that into your business plan? It is government. Let me give you an example. In this economic quadrant, if I don't see dollar rate in whatever you have written, I know you have not thought about it. If I don't see the valuation of the naira, I know you have not written anything. In this political, I should see elections coming. If you are into printing and branding, it's an opportunity. It should show in the SWOT of last week. Can you see the way we are marrying it now? Election year, they print. They spend money. Election year, all sorts of websites come up. Support Demola Adeusi for president. I am running away. So this forces you to think. In political, you are going to see multiple taxation. Local government will come, state governments will come, federal government. I got a call from the Federal Inland Revenue Service in Oyo State on Friday. Last week, Friday, they called me. I said, you have a letter. I said, I'll pick it up when I come back to Ibadan. He said, you didn't even ask me what the letter is for. I said, what is letter from a taxman from? What is it about? You know, if you listen to Lucky Jube, you say, Mr. Taxman, what have you done for me lately? The taxman has nothing to do for you, but to take. Okay? Social. How many of you know that at least 60% of Nigeria's population is under 30? They are the Sorosoke generation. And you've got to listen to them in their business. If they like your business, you do well. They don't like your business, I'm sorry for you. Just takes a Twitter campaign and they'll finish your business. So you've got to create their own touch points for them. Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. All right. Let me give you an example. How many of you know Kuda Bank? All of you know Kuda Bank now. You heard about it. Okay. What are they? They're a microfinance bank. They have a microfinance license. Think about it. They have a microfinance bank license, but they've chosen not to build a branch. They've chosen to do what? The digital, fully digital. Same with PiggyVest. Yes. If you had a branch here now, you will need to expand your capital base to be able to move to another branch. But when you don't have a branch, you have only one office, and then you operate offline. Can you see the way you have used technology to nullify the political? Can you see that? Political have been nullified by technology. Now, until the political will get there. When they get there, these guys will be like, you know what? You want us to open a branch? No problem. They will go to a co-sharing facility. Now, that's if they want to be corrupt. But they don't want to be corrupt. They will say this place is our branch in Ibadan. And they will put one guy here who wears their t-shirt and has a laptop. Idowu will become their agent here. And that's the point we're trying to make. Now, do you think people above 60 will bank with Kuda Bank? Now, can you see social demographics? As more millennials are getting into the work environment, they trust the online people more. They don't want to bank with all these banks where you queue. Can you see the way the technological has been able to jump around the legal regulation, tax policies? They still have to pay tax, But all this, your bank must have this, your branch must have that, is out of the way. Now, can you see the way the environment favors them? The environment now favors them because of the social demographics, and the fact that they are not building a branch means they don't have to use generator. They don't have to use a lot of staff salary, security, power, diesel, generator, buy air conditioning, have to design a branch, build it. Mr. Architects, they've taken your work away. Off it. Now, look at the way it makes more sense. The economics favor them. They can have growth without a lot of labor cost. Do you know? And you can do business with them from anywhere. All you just need to do is link a card. You know, I used to use PiggyVest until it became, honestly, what is it called now? It didn't make sense for me to put money in PiggyVest because of the inflation. You know, they will pay me 6%, but they borrow it out at 17%. And I looked at the return on investment. It wasn't worth it for keeping the money. To make it worse, the money was even, you know, devaluing, was going down. I'm not asking you not to save. It just didn't fit into my own investment portfolio as at that time. Remember what I told you earlier on? I don't want to be saving ₦1 per day for a whole year, and it gives me 365, and the dollar is 500 naira. Does it make sense? Yes, madam. Please use the mic. It's there.
I see the way that POS machines are for a fee, providing a service to areas that are underserved by ATM machines. But what about this issue of no network, and then you can't complete the transaction? Do you know of any innovation, any digital response to that has solved that problem for customers that maybe I'm not aware of?
All right. First is, I'm a telecoms veteran. I worked in the telecoms environment. The issues that have to do with no network, I am right there, and you can solve all of them. Outages are part of this. Power is one of it. Vandalization is one of it. So even when you have coverage in an area and somebody decides to go and steal diesel on your site or takes away your battery, these things would happen. But they are temporary, they are tactical. The key to it most times is be deliberate, be intentional. Have one POS that you know has an MTN SIM card inside it, because you will ask the POS operator, the card transaction manager, you will ask them and say, unified payment, accelerators, iTex, which SIM card does this one use? And they tell you it's MTN. And then you ask another one, which one does this one use? They tell you it's an Airtel. And then you can create redundancy. Meaning if this doesn't work, this will work. Nigeria is a beautiful place. I don't know. For those of you who have lived abroad before, have you ever seen people use 2 GSM lines before you came to Nigeria? 2 SIMs, how? I mean, I've had my stints abroad before. It was a no-no. And that is to tell you the level of business contingency and business continuity planning that we need to have in Nigeria. You know, In some of the developed world, I want to say development world. In some of the developed countries, network carriers carry network for each other. And they bill each other. Meaning, I am in a Ikorodu. Ikorodu doesn't have a good Airtel coverage. I'll still make a call and think I am on the Airtel network. But actually, I will use the MTN network. Airtel will still charge me a normal rate. And they go to a clearinghouse and sort down with MTN, and MTN will get paid. In Nigeria, OYO. But thank God now we can even collocate now. Meaning we can put all our equipment on the same mast so that we don't have to keep building masts all over everywhere. So I hope I'm forcing you to think very well. Tell me 2 things that are in this environment, political dispensation that favor you. If you can't find, put dash. Then it means you must be able to find me 2 things that are in the negative that don't favor you. Find me 2 things that are economic that favor you. Let me give you an example. I want to start an assisted living business, care business in Ibadan, where old people, I can give them carers, caregivers. Okay? One of the things that pays me in Ibadan is that Ibadan has a lot of retired nurses, assistant nurses, matrons. Sorry? Real experience, so that all I need to then do is to do attitudinal orientation and tell them you're going to wear a body cam. I am planning it. A lot of people have children overseas who can't take care of them, but they can pay for us to take care of them. I'm planning that business. But I want my own to be different. I want my guys to wear body cams. I want the supervisor to be able to log on to your body cam and see what you're doing. And then want to use an app where we know when this man is supposed to take his Parkinson's disease drug, when he's supposed to take his hypertension drug. So even if you forget, we can remind you from the office. Now, can you see the way I've mixed economic and technological? I also want to start in Ibadan. Oh, okay. I'll come to. I also want to start in Ibadan because of the population of old people as opposed to Lagos. Yes. Somebody would like to ask a question there. Mike, please.
Okay.
Please check the mic. Yes, it's working.
Okay. As regards the business you are saying, I want to ask, is it really necessary for if they wear body cams, you'll be seeing what you'll be seeing is others. Is it not better to just put a CCTV? CCTV will give you an insight of what they are doing. But if they wear body cams, each of them has a body cam, they'll be seeing others, not themselves. But you want to see them.
Okay.
Is it not?
Thanks for consulting for my business. Now, the reason why we don't want to do CCTV is that first, it is intrusive. We'll be seeing everything that person is doing, even when our caregivers are not there. That's one. Now, if you wear a body cam, it tells us exactly where you are. It can tell us what you are doing. But most importantly for us, it tells us how you are relating to the person you are supposed to be caring for, whether that person is happy to see you, whether that person is comfortable, whether that person is in pain. It is really not about you. It's actually about that person. When you sit down and we're looking at the TV from your chest, we're going to ask you, "Hello, what TV man?" Because that's what we will see. If it shows us that you are in their kitchen, and it's not as if you went to wash whatever utensils the man has used or the woman has used, we'll ask you, do you want to steal meat from the pot? If we put CCTV in the sitting room, you could go to the man's room and go and take money and they'll say our company is liable. But when you wear a body cam and you go to the man's room, we can know you are in his room, because we expect you to be trusted enough to go to his room, to wake him up, to help him change, to help you do all of that. But the point is, it's not about you. It is about that person who we want to be able to see is in good condition. That's why we're thinking that way. Now, can you see the way this new business, why am I starting in Ibadan? Age distribution favors me in Ibadan. There are a lot more people who are old, with children scattered all over the world, who need care. Is there a cultural barrier? So give me 2 social indicators that favor you, or 2 social indicators that are against your business. Is there a legal implication that favors you, or a legal implication that doesn't favor you? The federal government at a particular time was registering businesses for free. That's a legal implication that favors you. That favors you. Is there any environmental law that favors you, or an environmental law that is against you? What emerging technologies favor you? What maturing technologies are you using? You know, when they say something has matured, you know what it means? It has reached its peak, and from there it is going down. So what were you using before that is likely to go? Maybe you have an old website that wasn't secure. Okay, have we done it? Does it make sense now? Now, by the time somebody will be talking to you guys about business canvas, it will make much more sense, because you will have thought about everything that your business could encounter, and you then decide how to use your digital literacy to help yourself. Do you know there are businesses now that you can't serve anything in Lagos? They use a creative space, a workspace, as their office. If you want to arrest their audacity, if you don't know where to go, because they're trying to cut down overheads. Okay, how many of us have done this? How many of us have attempted this? Raise your hand if you have. How many of us are still doing it? Madam, have you? Not yet. Have you? Yes. Have you done the personal analysis? Okay, or we're still doing it? No. I'm talking about the personal analysis. Have you tried it? Okay, I'm going to walk around now and see how detailed we are with it. And I'll come around and look at it. This is my business that sounded very good now about caregiving. Do you know it has a societal barrier? People believe that it's not good for an elderly person to be taken care of by outsiders. You know, there is the "Omo see me" mentality. But now we're finding out that your needs are not going away and your children are going away. So what are you going to do? Or do you just want to get house help? House help is good if your parent or your grandparent does not have any underlying conditions that might require adequate and specialized medical attention. But if that person has some underlying comorbidities, you want to put somebody there who will be able to know what to do, not just marry the mother. Because all of these things will come back to our value proposition later. Because when we want to advertise online now, what are we going to advertise? We care. No, we're not going to say that. We provide world-class care that you can verify 24 hours by logging onto our website and sharing your ID, your customer ID, meaning you are the trusted son or trusted daughter, trusted caregiver, of this particular person. And we can share with you his or her process. This is what we do with them every day. We give them their drugs at 11. And if you want to watch a webcam, we'll show you. That's what we want to do. So let me take that round now and go through and look at what all of us have done. I hope you have written your business on the top of the paper, and I'll look at it.
Look at our individual businesses under this scope, you find that it is extremely difficult to fit in. So I'm beginning to think that, and maybe over the years, that has been the problems of many individual businesses. I think we need to then begin to come together as organization so that it will be easier to handle these things. Because when you are looking at individual businesses now, they seem not to so much fit into all these demands.
Okay, madam, I want to tell you that all individual businesses fit into this. The problem is we don't usually think about it as more than being our individual business. Now, I don't want you to think of your business like some plant, some aloe vera plant that will give water when you have, and when you don't have, you allow the rain to beat it. I want you to think of your business now as if it is a world-class business, that if you don't do some things right now, to catch up with you sometimes later. Let me give you an example. How many times do you want to increase the price of what you sell? Let me give you an example now. An event center cannot just wake up one day and say, I'm increasing prices by 100%. You are a tailor. Can you just say, from now on, Uba and Shokoto will be 10,000? What is the constituent of that price recovery? Why did you decide you were going to do 10,000? Do you know that sometimes it doesn't mean it's the price of the fabric? Maybe it is that you invested in new machinery and the embroidery you are doing now is far better than what you used to do before. That is under technological now, meaning the new Phoenix machine I'm going to use will be linked to my computer. My designs will now be computer generated. And because of that, whatever you wear now will be unique to you. It will not be the same thing I'm sewing to this madam that I'm going to sew to you. So when my customers complain first about the price, ordinary boo-boo, 15,000. I say, madam, it's not ordinary. See that one? I assure you. What is your name? Your name is Bolanle. I'm going to put a B here. Only that's your value proposition. I'm going to put a B here on the computer, and that B will now be like this. It will now go like this, and then the embroidery will be like this. You will know that you are the only one who has this. If you see any other person, come and point at me. Now, that is how that customer feels. Okay, I won't pay 15, I'll pay 12. Madam, I make 13 kaba error. Am I worried? I work by next week. You've closed that sale. The same thing you will do to madam. Madam, your name is Esther. You see, there is one we'll do now. We'll use E as the taping of this and that. So that's why we're forcing you to think about it. With technology now, you have been able to up your ante. Before the next tailor catches on, that you are now using people's initials to design their clothes for them, you'll have moved to another thing. Do you get it now? Now, maybe you were in one shop before, and the chairman of the local government suddenly woke up and said, we are demolishing this shop. What would you do? You must cover all your bases. Last week, we did SWOT analysis. Beautiful tool. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. It's the basic entry point to business analysis. Today, we're taking it up a notch. Oh yeah, expand your view beyond your business. Look at government policies in terms of politics. Look at it in terms of economics. Then look at it in terms of social. Have you noticed that people who make photocopy in front of universities, it is cheaper? Is it that their ink is cheaper or their machine is cheaper? The answer is no. It is volume. It's just a volume business. They've calculated the break-even point that once I do this and do this, I will make more money than you, who is in one very cozy place and waiting to make 10 naira photocopy, and you only make 100 per day, while they make 10,000. Guess what? Over time, the paper is even supplied to them and we on credit. Yes, now. And you people will take, look, if I'm into consulting. When I want to print sometimes, I go to you. I have a printer in my house. So how many printers do I have in my house? I have 4. But I will go there jejely so that my own toner can last me 2 years. But if they know their own niche, 4 naira 40 kobo, they printed it. Then there's somebody in a very cozy environment with AC. There is a lady inside behind Union Bank, Agodi. There's a place there where they make photocopy. She's usually in that place sleeping. No business. It's 10 naira. And if she photocopy, one boy is in lot of generator. They should go and put on the generator, come back, slot it on. How many copies? 1 copy, 2 copies. She's put on the generator, everything. 20 naira. You give it to her. And you need change. The same design secretariat. Then she will now go for another 30 million. Can you see the waste in terms of cost? In terms of, guess what? Do you know that you can put, it's very funny. Do you know photocopy can be done from inside your car? And you can print from inside your car. It's the world we're in now, digital. Guess what? You know that your cigarette lighter thing, there is a plug that converts it to what? No, a 13 amp plug, a 3-mount 13 amp plug. You don't know. You convert it, just put it. I have it behind my car, the Highlander. You just put it there. It converts it to a plug that you can plug anything to. There is a scanner, a small scanner, like you can even use your phone. You scan the document. There is a small printer, like the ones photo people use at parties. You plug it to the same point and you send it via your phone and it prints. Do you know some people are doing it? Go to NYSC camp. You see them there. They bring their car every day. Photocopier, everything is inside that car. They make money, they go away. So we're forcing you to think about your business in a way that makes it look like it is a corporation. By the time you get to that stage when people are asking you questions, you already have your answers. Not that let me give you an example. By the time you have come for 4 of our sessions here, by the time you've come for 4 sessions here, no, I'm not saying there are 5, sir. Oh, you're raising your hand, sorry. Sorry, let me just finish this. By the time you have come for 4 of the pre-conference sessions, you will be able to speak about your business in a way that people who want to put money in your business will know that you have covered all your bases. You will be able to convince yourself and anybody who wants to put money in your business that, you see this business, I have thought about it, I understand it, it is going to work, and these are the technological tools I will use to make sure that it's a business that can survive COVID and make money in spite of COVID. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it was just the last point, because basically the challenges most of us have as small businesses is that we think about our business as ourselves. And I think that's part of the challenges we're having with this. Take, for example, you run your business from your house. I'm sure you won't factor in rent.
Energy consumption.
You won't factor in the electricity that you use. You use your personal car to do errands for your business. You won't factor it in. And all of a sudden, maybe your business, you now have a traction in terms of customers, and you now have to move outside. You now all of a sudden want to increase price, and you're now saying people are no longer buying. But forgetting that because you were using a place which you pay from your pocket, maybe not all, a fraction of it should be factored into the business, which gives you an idea of at least a better pricing template for the product you are producing, so that all of a sudden, because you know the challenge with small businesses, I would say you think that you can't gain as a small business, you can't gain entrance into a market by price. You can't.
The scale will not favor you.
Yeah, you can't, because the template you are working on is already wrong. So if you eventually now get to that point where the businesses you are competing with in terms of machineries, technology, and all the rest that we've discussed today, you will now find out that what you were pricing for 10 naira is actually maybe like 40 naira. How do you now make that shift?
Sir, let me just buttress your point. My wife is a caterer. In the past 5 years now, she will cook for people using my gas. Well, I call it my gas. Well, it's a gas anyway. She owns, even the person who owns the gas, whichever way. But the point I'm making is that my wife will cook with the gas. She'll use the cooker in my house. She would even have my children help her do some of the, little things. And then she would go deliver, use her car, use everything, free labor, free everything. And then I asked her one day and I said, you cooked all of this for 120,000? And she said, yes. And she said, she made 30,000. I said, really? You made 30,000? That you made 25%. I said, that is even very small in the first place, because I come from a food management background. You should at least make 40% because of the wahala involved. I said, okay, but let me give you a costing template. Let me see how much you really made. And we started, and she gave me cost of rice, cost of this, cost of this. So I said, gas, not taking into cognizance. Water, not taking into cognizance. My children's labor, not taking into cognizance. Electricity, not taking, even slave labor, yeah. Your car that you took there, not taking into cognizance. So I said, salary for yourself for that time. What's your time? You used 4 days for this. You did marketing, meaning in food, she just went to the market. Then you did prep, which is, all of those things you do before. Then you cooked. Then you packaged. Then you delivered. Of all of this, by the time I made the calculations and I gave it to her, she should have done what she did. Actual cost should have been about 300,000. Now, I'm not saying she should charge 300,000. I am saying she should say to the client, this thing is worth 300,000, but I'm going to give it to you at 220. And then she can tell me she made money because 3 days later, the gas in the house just went pew. And she said, oh yeah, bring money. I said, no. So you said you made 20,000. And she said, well, she bought fuel in the car. She did this. The 20,000 is zap. That is why we're asking you to think about it now. Because what he was saying to you is what you call acute price recovery, where you just jump from 10 naira to 25 naira. It's not going to happen. Why do you think gala is still 50 naira? Although you need a microscope now to see the beef in it.
Add something. How many of you remember this shirt called TM Loin? It's very, very popular shirt. If you check the actual price of those shirts, they're very, very expensive. But you can get to Lagos and find TM Loin in one shop for 25,000. And then you go to another shop and find it for 10. Same shirt. Two things. Number one, the guy who brings in the original TM Loin pays custom duty and the price goes up to 25. The other guy bribes the custom officer and doesn't pay duty, so he can sell for a lower price. But the real fundamental flaw is the fact that one of them goes to China and replicates the TM Loin shirts and the labels for less than 5,000 naira and then sells it for 10. So he's actually making a return on his investment at selling at 10,000 more than the person who is selling at 25,000. Yeah, and that's why this makes sense to me now, because if you don't know how these factors are affecting people's pricing, you will now know, you also not know what part of your business to give up. You know what I mean? And not, I'm struggling with my neighbors. Have you noticed how they've choked up the whole entrance? How many years now I've been struggling with them? I finally just threw caution to the wind and I'm tired. You know what I mean? These people are never going to change. It's going to take force to get them to behave. You know what I mean? So now I need to look at my political, my political power, so to speak, to what I can leverage in the political realm to be able to get them into some sense of order. Yeah, so I agree with you that this word, it's much better than this word in that area. That gentleman wants to say something.
Let me share,
Sorry, before you, because this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking, and which I also feel is the essence of, can you hear me? All right. Because which I feel is the essence of this trade, because the truth is that this may be pretty difficult for you to do as an individual. Aha. So I think that the best bet is if you could be bold enough to throw yourself open so that you can, that helps you flesh this out a bit. I think that
would help.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that would help.
Let's take his question and then I'll add something. Yeah, what do you do first? Food business. You run a restaurant. Okay.
He asked me to do about food for about 40 people.
Yes.
So when I gave him the cost, he told me that my cost is on the high side of that. He knows one mama something that is willing to do it for about 15K lesser. That with the way I've given him, what I've given him, he's going to be forced to go back to the woman. So now that your wife gave an estimate of 120K, you did your own perfect analysis and the price should have been 300K. Now, there are like 10 other people that can do it for 100K or lesser. How do you make decision in such a situation?
Okay.
And of course, you don't want to lose the business or the business offer.
Okay, quick one. Now you see what we're doing here is to let you think in a dispassionate manner about your business. Currently, this is the way all of us are thinking about our business. It is my business. What we're asking you to do now is, it is the business. Work more on the business. Leave yourself. Be dispassionate. One government policy will ruin you right now. What is that government policy? Put it there. I want to see it. One. It's come on. If the dollar goes to 700 naira, some businesses are finished. So put it there, dollar rate, so that by the time you look at where the dollar is going, you tell yourself, I'm going out, and you can kick your exit strategy in immediately. Now, let's do something. There's a guy who exports suits to the UK. Maybe I should give him free advertisement. His name is Abana Couture. Ade Olodun. Can you imagine? How can you be exporting suits to the UK from Nigeria? They're made here. They're made in Lagos. Because you think of Savile Row, the guys should, to just buy. But what? He's offering something that is not a commodity. It's not something you just went somewhere and you pick. No, this is made to measure. It's bespoke tailoring. It is your own. It's customized. Your shirt is supposed to be half an inch out under your suit. He knows. So when he's taking your measurement, he gives that allowance. But if you went to a place in the UK, you'll be finding your feet. So he sells them an experience. He doesn't sell them a suit. Now, let me now blow your mind. David Wedge, that your Eweje, used to import TM Louis shirts. He used to work for Ekone Wireless. We used to work together. He used to import TM Louis shirts. He was the one that pioneered David Wedge in Lagos and then partnered with Twice as Nice. They sold TM Louis shirts. Now, David Wedge is now in the UK. Guess what? He's selling British suits made in China. He launched 3 months ago. Just Google David Wedge. In fact, his launch, he got British ladies to wear LASMA uniforms. Yes, they wore LASMA uniforms and they marched, on the runway and everywhere on Jeremy Street where TM Lewin actually is. Do you think he's selling suits? No. He's selling an experience. Now, let me tell you something. Do you think he thought like this before he went to the UK? Yes. What's the political implication? The people who are selling charcoal have done this. Ordinary charcoal. You must know the standard of the charcoal you are exporting, the moisture content, the type of charcoal, the kind of wood it must come from, how to bag it, how to package it. I was one of those who went to investigate why Nigerian yam did not arrive in the UK in good condition. I was in Taraba, I was in Kogi, I was in Benue, I was in Kaduna. First, we did not even specify the kind of yam we wanted. The government policy was very, very vague, and the farmers just keyed into it. That's why Ghana is still the one. You'll be surprised at the things that are happening. Let me give you an example. People from Benin Republic walk into Nigeria. They buy our shea butter from Okyogu, take it back to Benin Republic, process it in the way the British and the French want it, and then sell it as Beninois shea butter. Same with honey. And it is Nigerian product.
Well, whatever happens, we're finishing at 4. So if this goes on till 4, we're going to stop.
Okay, so let's look at, now let me answer your question directly. Food is first and foremost a commodity. It appeals to the basest need of every human being. I want to eat. Now, let me tell you what will happen when you want to eat. Your stomach is, your intestines actually, they are rubbing on each other like this and they're saying, give us something or else we'll start eating ourselves. At that point, you will eat anything available to you. So it's a commodity. What you sell with food, most times is not the outcome. It is the process and the ambience. Okay? I worked with UAC Foods. I worked in Mr. Biggs. At a particular time, I managed 16 Mr. Biggs outlets. And you realize that what people pay for is not the outcome. That is the food in front of them. It is the process and the ambience. When you watch Food Network, what do you see them do that is different that we don't do in Nigeria? But they make it look as if, you now fillet it. When you fillet it, you stir it, you leave it to simmer, and then they ask, hello. Now, there's a place in Lagos called Cactus. You know Cactus? Along Ozumbamba way. I went to Cactus with a friend of mine, and I ate rice, white rice, with sauce that contained 1/4 chicken. 1/4 chicken. I deliberately want you to know. 1/4 chicken. So that you would think I went there and I ate a whole goat. And when they brought me my price, it was 22,000 naira. So I said, if I had given Remy 22,000 naira, my wife, she would have bought a whole goat coming from, But the point is, I wasn't paying for the chicken. I was paying for the process of making that chicken. And most importantly in Cactus, I was paying for the ambience. While I was seated there, I saw a GM from MTN that had been trying to pursue for a while. Mr. Kinukawe, how are you? I greeted. I was on my way out. I saw the MD of Unified Payments. And he said, Demola, we must see you. And I made sure I went to see him. And then something came out of it. Hasn't that paid for my rice? So the point you must make of people who tell you I can buy it from Yasikira's place is that the process that will give birth to what you are going to give them is different from what Yasikira's place will give them. Second is the outcome. Third is to try and talk about either the packaging or the ambience. For people who are really in your target quadrant, your target market, they tend to become a little price insensitive when you tell them about quality. Let me give you an example. I have a big nose and it works. I walked into my house one day and my wife was boiling pepper. And I already know that pepper was bad. Just walking into my house, I knew the pepper was bad. So I called my wife. I said, that pepper you are boiling is bad and it needs to go out of this house. And my wife said, how did you know that? I said, this is my nose. It's not big for nothing. And she says, well, it's true that there's a place she was supposed to buy pepper, but they had closed and she knew I was coming back. I said, let me buy pepper from somewhere. I said, no, this pepper is already infected. I told her exactly what was in the pepper. And she said, okay. And she threw it away. Now, there are some of your customers who are like that. They are finicky. They are picky. They're the guys who should pay some of your very good prices if you can sell it to them. Remember, okay, you were not here. If you were here earlier, you will have been listening to a video that we made here. I don't know if you can make that video. There is what is called differentiated customer experience. Differentiated customer experience allows you to say, Madam, sure you want basic rice and soup and all of that. We'll do that for you at 22,000 naira. But if you want sweet corn on it, you want corned beef, you want this, you want that, that has to be 37,000 naira. If you now want us to do a rice jambalaya, or you want a paella, or you want seafood, you have to do 60,000 naira. Now, can you see you are providing options, and you are saying, depending on your price, we'll meet you here. But when you have a one size fits, look at where we are now. The price for this hall here is different from the price for this one. If you can't afford this one, come here. Or maybe you don't want this one. There's a poolside, New Streams Culture and Conference Center. In fact, if I were managing this place, I even rent you our parking space if you don't need it. Come and hold your party there. It's not a problem. But the point I am trying to make is that when you sell food, there are several things you are talking about. You are selling the process, you're selling your expertise, you are not selling the ingredients. Anybody can cook rice, and anybody can cook beans. But food is actually experiential. I hope you understand. Food business is one of the businesses that I'm very interested in. It will never go away. And it has money in it. It will never go away. In fact, we're getting to a point now where we are going to have jollof rice in a sachet. We'll be microwaving it by the roadside and selling it like gala. And you will buy. It's going to happen. So now let me round it up this way. Next week, somebody else will be here. And that person will build up on this one. If you don't pass primary 2, you won't go to primary 3. And this is not WAEC. It's not WAEC, yes. You get the joke. It's not WAEC. Now, why is this important to us? We want you to come to the regional, the Southwest Regional E-commerce Summit and Expo, prepared with your ideas about your business. All we want you to come and do at that expo is to come and pick the tools that will help your business fly. So if you're listening to me from home, you're listening to me from your office, you need to come here. We will have refocused and redimensioned your business such that by the time we're holding the real e-commerce summit, you're already looking forward to meeting vendors, consultants, infrastructure service providers that fit into your business. You come here prepared and say, well, I am only looking for someone who can help me build a website that will tie my strategy into execution and then be able to make me money. You are not waiting for somebody to say, and so what is the business should be ready. At that summit, we're not going to be saying what is the concept of your business.
We can even feature you as one of our examples.
So that's what I feel.
Thank you. I want to add something to that. Okay. He's just giving me an idea. We're moving to the poolside from next week.
Sorry, Pastor, before
from Friday next week.
Sorry, Pastor, before I just want to, so that we're able to relate with this, especially in relation to the question he asked. This is what I am saying from your question. It ties into economy, that's disposable income of your customers, social, in terms of the demography. Then number 3, which I think he dwelt a lot on, is technology, your processes. So I think you need to really rework those areas. Do you really need to work? That's what I am saying. Those 3 areas, much more than the other areas. You need to rework those 3 areas so that you're able to get the required outputs.
There's some shops in America and in the UK that when you step inside and you ask for the price, they know you can't afford it. I'm serious. They just know you can't afford it. It's one of the beauty of data is this. If you tell somebody that my hall, I keep telling my staff, don't give verbal quotes. Don't give verbal quotes. You say why? Because people can say they didn't hear you properly, or they think they have an opportunity to negotiate, or they will negotiate you start negotiating from a place of weakness. If you put an idea, my prices start from so and so, then it already eliminates for you. People you shouldn't be wasting. I found out that people who ask for the greatest discount are the ones who pay the worst amount of money. I've had people walk into this place, they'll come in and they'll say, you say, how much is the hall? You tell them the price. They'll say, okay, I want this. They'll give you a check and they will go. The one that will come say, Shemagba 200, Shemagba 150, Shemagba. They are such a pain in the backside when they finish. So let me put it this way. Nothing you're hearing here is, I'm learning a lot. I actually came to this program to learn. And that's why I brought my friends who are experts in these areas to come and help. So I'm learning a lot and I'm taking that back, you know what I mean, into my business to see what changes I need to make. And so I want to encourage you to do exactly the same. Like I said, we're going to finish at 4. So I want to find out if maybe anybody, Doe or Joshua, have anything they want to just share, but I can only give you a few minutes, and or you can share it from where you are, and then so that we can round up before 4. And so Demola can take any more questions before he leaves. And by the way, if you go online, there are YouTube videos on this, you know what I mean? The only challenge I'll ask you to do is when you're using YouTube and Google search, after watching the American or the European version, always look for a third world or an Indian or a Kenyan or an application that refers to Africa. You know what I mean? Because most of the time when we watch videos from other countries, we fail to find the context of the applications. You know what I'm saying? What I do when I look at the American one or the British one, I go look for something that somebody has done in Kenya or in Asia or in Singapore. You know what I mean? I'd look for a country that is close to mine and be able to apply it to my own context here. Because context is very, very important in the application of these principles. All right? Yeah, you wanted to say something? Yes. Quickly.
Yeah, so I think our keynote speaker has done a bit of justice to today something, but bringing it down to us, entrepreneurs, small business owner, and all those stuff. What I just want to chip in is that every of this, I think Pastor Lumide hinted on it. Immediately he started this morning and everything he has said so far. One word I keep hearing is leverage. Leverage. Using other people's money, using other people's time, using technology. All these things as small business, we look at it as cumbersome. We look at it as if it is impossible. But these are the things that can help us to move ahead in our business. So breaking it down, instead of us looking at it as if something that is insurmountable, and it brings us to a place where I can't do it and I can't move forward. You can actually look at how to leverage on other people. Okay, let me give a typical example. You know you need to keep accounting something in your business. You don't have money to get an accountant. You can actually look for an accountant, somebody, and do like, what do they call it?
Barter.
Yeah, a barter. I'll be paying you 10,000 naira every month. I have business, I don't have business. 10,000 naira at that time will not kill your business, but we'll be able to help you build all those things. You want to look at system. Pastor Lumide is into system. You want to look at, there was a time I called him, I want to do something for my business. I can do it, but at that time, and I called him, I give him money. Help me do, was it not, I think it's balance sheet then that I want to do. I was doing one business. It is for my personal business, but I want to look at it from another perspective. I don't want to be myopic about it. I pay him, help me do balance sheet and this. I can do it myself. But at that time, the timing, the spacing is not available. So what I'm saying is that instead of us looking at all these things as a problem that cannot be surmounted, we can look at how we leverage. As a school, we have been talking about technology. You can't build a website. You can look for somebody that will be taking 5,000 naira from you or 10,000 naira from you and manage your online presence. And you start getting information of how many people do this, how many. But the problem is not starting at all. So don't let us see this thing as a big problem or something that I cannot solve or something. There is a certain businessman that I'm looking at in Nigeria. I think it's this guy that is Bua or something. Bua. If anybody look at the business pattern of Bua, that guy does not do serious research.
Just copies down.
He just look at what Dangote is entering into, and the guy just go and take small portion. Dangote will put 1 billion, and the guy will just come in and put 10 million. We just be waiting. Dangote enter rice. The guy enter rice. Dangote enter petroleum. The guy go and do one deal with one African country and do petroleum because he knows that Dangote can never get it wrong. He's a big fish in that industry. So he leveraged on that and he doesn't mind calling him an underdog. He does not want to make money like Dangote. He just wants to have a small portion of the market. So what I'm saying is that because Mr. Ademola deals with big corporation, big entity, he helps them analyze this. So as I can see that all the questions we have been asking all this while when he put all this is about how can my business use political. Just look at leverage. People look at, he was talking about policy. Look at government policy that favors you and just sit down there. Don't fight with this. Jonathan did not do this. Buhari did not do this. Railway is there. The policy is favoring some people. They just sit down there and they start making their money. You are into business. Look at this thing in a way that, so for me, what I'm saying is that look at this thing from the angle of leveraging. How can I use this thing to better my business, to move from point A to point B, to make sure that at least I'm getting out of this. The purpose of this conference is that everybody that comes want to move us from point A to point B. So don't let us take this information as if it's that big. I have somebody that I have 2 legal people. I can't pay them. One of them is close to Sana. I can't pay, but Egbon. But when Egbon wants to send me something too, I leave whatever I'm doing because it's leverage. Egbon can call me one day and say, I want to send it to Oyo. All I used to require from Egbon is that just give me a day or 2 days advance notice so that I can settle my business or my family because I have to leverage. And whenever I have legal issue, I just forward the information to Egbon. And Egbon caters all the legal problem and they didn't run into. I have a tax person. Immediately I want to do tax. I know how much I know Pastor Francis, I know how much he pays for tax people. I can't pay that now. My business is still small. But that does not mean I have to run into tax problem. I have to look for somebody that is a tax expert. I'll be paying you for 5,000 naira. Just manage this one because we need all these things to stand on for our business. That is just what I want to say.
Thank you very much. I want to say some of these things though. I'm very happy you brought up the point of leverage because by answering a lot of these questions also, when you approach a bank, you've taken away their fears. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. Because one of the questions they will ask you is that if government changes power, what will you do? So this helps you to deal with fears from your investors. Because most of us don't do that. Somebody said to me when I was looking for investors for the pool, the person said to me, okay, you've had all these wonderful ideas. What if nobody comes to use your pool? And that kind of slaps you in the face. You know what I mean? It kind of slaps you in the face. And I said to him, well, the truth about it is that my focus wasn't the pool, but for the events that are going to take place on the side of the pool. I don't know if you get the point that I'm making before he finally said, okay, I'll look at it again. You get my point? Because he thought I was trying to make my money from swimming. And thank God I wasn't because nobody is swimming right now. So let's go to do you want to say anything? Just quickly.
I just want to talk about the issue of technology in the business. That when we are trying to leverage on technology in business, most of us think of digital market strategy instead of digital business strategy. Because digital business strategy precedes your digital marketing. So if you are trying to leverage technology in your business model, look for tools that help you to improve in your business, especially in time of COVID. For instance, during the COVID, my wife is a lecturer, couldn't go to class, and they asked them to do online classes. The first video that she recorded was like maybe 45 MB. It can be put into WhatsApp where his students are. So we find a digital business strategy for her and get our tools that will record our video in small sizes and can be able to share it on the WhatsApp
platform.
And some of them who have baby at their hospital, they are catching up with the classes. And that is not digital marketing strategy. Our strategy never get to social media, and it makes a lot of impact during the COVID. So we should not confuse, in terms of technology, we should not confuse digital business strategy with digital marketing strategies. if you have a digital marketing strategies, they may be giving you KPI that you are going to get to the links, you are going to get these followers, you are going to get, and you find out that many times it does not return to sales, does not return to money. And the reason is that they are taking you out of the digital marketing because they don't integrate into a digital business strategy. What am I saying is that your market should be involved. You should be involved in your market. And when you are involved in your market, you can leverage your own experience. Take for instance, somebody running a school now, and he said that, and if you are doing digital marketing, your business has to be digital. And because you have digital business strategy in place. Take for instance, the school want to have a digital product. We can add something to the school website that you can pay your children's school fees small. You can tag it, study idea, and you develop a app to your school website whereby it remove 10 naira or 20 naira, it may be every month from people's way. That's a digital product based on your digital strategy, and you use your digital marketing skills to get it out. So I just want to tip in that we should be able to clear that and to be able to clear between those two. And if you don't know what to do, benchmarking approach is the best. Benchmarking approach is that you look at the big companies like what Joshua said that Ibadan International is one of the biggest schools in Ibadan. What are they doing different? And you look at it so you can know where the school is going. Walmart have this particular app that you come in and drive in. For years, people are not using it, but they are think ahead that you just need to pick it on their mobile phone, drop it in the cart, and when you are coming in your car, you won't need to get down. You just drive through, and somebody will just ask, can I get your order? You show your order, you show your number, and you won't touch you. Check your number check your order on the system, and say drive forward. Maybe like 10 to 15, somebody is waiting for you with exact your product. Put it in your boot and close and you drive off. During the COVID, they have surge on that app because they have think ahead. And that is their digital business strategy, not digital marketing strategy. And that is why sometimes when you do digital marketing strategy for like 2 or 3 months, you give up and say that this is not working.
Doesn't work. Thank you very much. Now, it's very important that you said that. One of the reasons why, if you notice, we are trying to refocus the e-commerce because most people come in to teach you how to market on Facebook, market on that, and these things don't work, how to build websites. This year, we're asking Dr. Degbala to help us address the issue of the digital divide. Remember, technology is not computers. Technology is the ability to do something more efficiently than you did it yesterday. It's not always computer. A lot of your customers are not going to be computer literate. Most of us still don't know that. Bridge International Academies, when they came here for our Future of Education Summit, they told us this. The only person in the school that has internet is the principal. The only person in the school that they pay for internet services is the principal. All the other gadgets in the school are connected by Bluetooth, and Bluetooth is free. It's something a lot of schools are still not leveraging up till now. They made it open. It was all out there in the open. You can connect devices by Bluetooth. For instance, every phone in this place, in this compound now, could be connected by Bluetooth, which means I can send text messages to you, WhatsApp type messages, JPEG, whatever files, without using 1 ounce of data. I don't know if I'm making any sense. And that's what fits a country like ours. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. Where a school has a good Bluetooth setup, you buy the equipment once, you transmit once, you network once, and you have no other recurrent expenditure except for the principal who's downloading, you know what I mean, the main data and sharing it with everybody. Am I making sense? And then it also limits the people that can do it. In other words, the Bluetooth keeps everybody within the school. So once a teacher walks out of the school facility, you can tell that he's not in school. You know what I mean? Without having to go to the classroom. So those are things that are available technology-wise. You know what I mean? However, it will require some research, some assistance, and then of course, if you're going to be a pioneer, you're going to make mistakes. You know what I mean? And you're going to learn as you're going along. All right. Finally, he has already spoken during the most of the meeting anyway about how we need to leverage this. Like I said, it's going to require for you to settle down. You know what I mean? And settle down, find YouTube videos to reinforce what you've just heard. You know what I mean? Because next week we're going to be looking at your customers and their value system. You know what I mean? Mr. Adeosi has already hinted on that in the entire program about how much money they have. I can't remember some of the terms he used, disposable income and all those things. We're going to be looking at that in detail, but the problem is that you cannot generalize that information. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. So in other words, his customers will be totally different from his customers, will be different from our customers, which is why we need you to do this homework. Like I said, I know it's tough, but this is the hard part of doing business. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. I think it's Jim Rohn that always tells people, work harder on yourself than you work on your business more than you work in your business. Most of us work in our businesses. We should work on our businesses and we'll see a lot of difference, all right? So I know it's going to be tough, but let's do our homework. Let's read some of these things and come back. Does anybody have any questions? Before I say, I want us to say a very big thank you to Mr. Adeosi so that we can let him go. He left another seminar to be with us here for free, and he has already eaten his honorarium. Yes, ma'am.
From what we've been talking about is about, let's say, trade secrets or production secrets. For example, if someone has a product and it's like many people want trading on it, but it seems that you don't want to expose your trade secret or your production secret. But to people, it's like, you know, the people in this area, you don't want to understand. And when it comes to branding too, you know, some of these things, I just want a bit of clarification.
Well, I'll let Mr. Demola tell you that I would have used scripture.
There is a saying in Ibadan that you can know Ibadan and not Molaiko. Ibadan Lumo, Molaiko. Now, every business would usually have two parts: the business side and the craft. The craft and the business. I can sing. I can draw. So when they say, what am I? I'll say I'm a musician or I'm a singer. But there's a business part of it. I am a teacher. I like to teach children. What is the business part of teaching? Do you know it? Now, most times when somebody wants to teach you, they will teach you the craft. They won't teach you the business. I can make a carpenter a good furniture maker, but I can't make him an entrepreneur. I can make a singer an outstanding singer, but she may not be able to do business or become rich as a singer. So when people, we have become a formulaic nation. We like formula. 1, 2, 3 steps to getting rich. Come to my seminar tomorrow. And I just tell you, save, invest,
And divest.
divest. Then save again. Everybody's like, we know that. But I can say it in very big grammar and all of that. Now, when you have a product that has a trade secret, you must protect that trade secret with your life. You can only teach people the generic things. Do you know that Coca-Cola arrives in Nigeria in a big bottle as powder? Yes. Once they boil the water, they put sugar. You just take that bottle and dump in the vat. They cover it. They cook it. It becomes carbonated. It goes into that formula comes in from Atlanta. I don't know if you remember some Chinese people who used to have, they've gone away now, who used to have bakeries all over Nigeria. Sir? Not ostrich. Some 10 years ago. You know, they used to make very lovely bread. You know, in every location, the fragrance for the bread, after you'll have kneaded the dough, was in one small bottle like this. They will ask everybody to go out. They will put it in the dough, mix it, and tell the Nigerians to keep working on it again and break the bottle. The issue is you must make sure that it is difficult for your competition to do what? To catch on to your trade secret. Now, in these days of technology, it is becoming difficult. The same production line that makes Samsung phones today will make iPhones tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, but to some businesses that have crafts, you can only train people on the generic craft. I can teach you how to sing. I can teach you how to modulate your voice, how to sing on key. But then, if you want to do other things that pertains to the business, it's either you are becoming part of my firm or I am becoming part of your holding.
Like a franchise.
Like a franchise. Or am I managing you for a while? Let me give you an example. Wizkid was discovered by Banky W. And he managed him for some years. And it got to a point, Wizkid said, okay, I've made money for the two of us for a while. Let me now make money for myself. And the guy is still making money. Meanwhile, Nice was using ID Kabasa as his producer. And he sacked ID Kabasa. And then he sang one song. He said, Bimo Lupangolo, Aye Ajo, right? Now, how is Nice now?
Very nice.
It's very nice. Now, what I'm saying to you is that in every business, you can learn from the master. But becoming a master would only have two routes. Those two routes will be either you dedicate yourself to creating your own trade secret too, or you gain the master's trust to a point where he shows you one or two of the trade secrets, and you then decide to go and work on those two and add your own to it. Every business has a trade secret. And you must be, let me give you an example now. My business, I have some customers that when they call me, I show up there myself. Nobody else shows up on my behalf. In fact, with some businesses, I'm shielding everybody else from having contacts with those businesses. I go, I win the business, I then come and brief everybody, because the most important thing in the world is what? Information. Some of the information that they are going to hear there will let them develop ideas. Maybe I should even send a proposal in on this one or that one. But I can train you to be a consultant. I can train you to be a trainer. I can train you. But the business side, I won't show you that unless you are part of me or I am part of you. So we must be careful to, you take on a protege and you just show that protege everything. Or you give that protege, data comes into place now. Measurements, data. You give that person a job now that, you be in charge of this computer. All our data, all our customer databases, you will be the one warehousing it and registering it. And that guy, knowing he's going away from your business in January, takes away all your contacts and goes home. 2 weeks after leaving your business, sends all of them text messages. Madam, I am no longer with so and so business. My shop is now at so and so place. I can assure you that I can do whatever the other business could do for you.
With 20% discount.
A 20% discount. There goes your business. You know, we still come back to this issue of data. Your data should be something that you own, you keep. And when you keep it, we should be wondering why Google is fighting over our data. Microsoft is fighting over our data. Facebook is fighting over our data. Twitter, our data. And you're asking yourself, why? let me give you an example now. There's a guy in Lagos who does chicken in Easter and December, and he does rams during the Muslim Ilaya festival. That's all he does for a living. To tell you the scale, this guy sells rams to state governments. So he orders like thousands. Guess what? His phone is always passworded. He carries his data like this. That's why I said to him, Beshi, why? He says, they mustn't know who I'm talking to. Even my suppliers of the rams in the north, they've tried to find out the people I talk to be able to get this kind of huge contracts. So I'm always keeping my phones to myself. Now imagine rams and chicken. But he knows that he doesn't sell ram and he's, leverage. He leverages his closeness to people in politics and uses it to sell ram. I can tell you, if that guy goes into tailoring, he will still be a good tailor. He won't have to sew. But because he has the data of the people who are in power, he will do well. If he goes into a building, all he needs to do is spread it within them. So that's that. You can't teach everybody everything about your business and not expect that when they go away, they won't take part of your business. They will take part of your business with them. So we have to be careful in that regard.
Thank you. It's very important that we agree that you understand what he's saying, because there's some parts of your business you shouldn't even hide. The problem about it is that somebody else will give them that information. What you need to look at is people who have business secrets, like you said, and then see what information they give out and see what information they keep. I remember this interview that was done online by this Trevor Noah, of a very famous musician married to Alicia Keys. He said many people are in the music business, but they don't know the business of music. They don't know how to sell their records. There's this producer who's well known in Lagos, who makes more money than all the musicians under him put together. There's also Don King, who's a boxing promoter who doesn't punch. Has never received a punch in his life, and he makes more money than all his boxers put together. Don King will tell you everything about boxing, but he will never tell you everything about boxing promotion. Am I making sense? So it's important that you understand the concept, but to also keep quiet is going to be counterproductive to you. I don't know if you get my point. To also say, I'm not going to give you anything, that's wrong. You're like, we call them the Dead Sea. You're somebody whose information is coming into, you should release some to people. Am I making sense? So that you continue to stay alive. And you all know the basics of scripture. Give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So you can't say you're not going to give, but there are parts of you. You know what I mean? And apart from that, for instance, I asked most of you last week, if you want us to send you a copy of the PowerPoint, and this is the way I am. Many years ago, I would have sent it to you whether you asked it or not. Today, I will tell you I will send it to you. If you don't make an effort to contact me, I won't send it. It means you're not hungry enough. And I was wasting my time trying to get you information. Only one person contacted me and said, I haven't sent the material. And it didn't take me 2 minutes to send the material to the person. But that's the problem. I found out that some people, their seriousness. I make furniture. And in my church, when I was in Jesus Embassy, I'll make furniture and other pastors will come and tell me to do the furniture for them. And I'll give them my price. And they'll say it's too expensive. Will I allow them to bring a carpenter to come and look at it? And I'll say, yeah. They'll bring a carpenter. When he finishes, I won't recognize the furniture from my own. Simply because I'm an architect and therefore I understand ergonomics and sizes and heights and comforts. You know what I mean? And they don't those carpenters don't know what it is to keep a chair at a particular height. You can never walk in this place and find a step that is more than 6 inches. That's part of my training. Am I making sense? But the problem, most people are not trained, so they don't know. They just see a building and they want to copy it. But there are proportions to a building. Am I making sense? There are heights to a building. If you've been to the new railway station in Ibadan, I don't know if any of you have been there. That's what you call governmental scaled building. They are out of proportion. Their doors are out of proportion. They are designed to dwarf human beings. Am I making sense? But you have people living in Nigeria who have those kind of doors in their houses. doesn't make any sense. Am I making sense? So please, whatever you do, just give out something. Am I making sense? Don't be stingy. Now, many years ago, I don't want to call names now, but I can call the first name. Benga Denuga was doing a concert in Lagos. And he was well paid by one of the very successful businessmen. Benga doesn't do concerts for people because he's a spiritual man. But this was his friend, and that one said, come and sing for me. So he went to sing for him, and then while he was singing, a famous musician came to meet him and said, Aburo, Jack in Corny Corn, Abimeji, want it back, baby. And then Benga now called me and said, what happened to this guy? He was famous a long time ago, and now he's struggling to get jobs. I said, go and check his history. I don't need to know who he is. I don't even need to know his name. Who did he help? Who did he help when he was famous and successful? Did he send anybody to music school? Did he develop them? Did he give them a chance to become successful? When you are stingy like that, you shut a door. Am I making sense? For yourself. So it's not good to stop giving. Am I making sense? I'm giving now. Some of you, I don't know if I'll see you again. But there might be some of you like the architect who can become a billionaire and come back and say, let me help you to get things better. Well, I hope I won't be at this level when he comes back. But anyway, but that's the point I'm trying to make. It's not, you sow. Demola has given you information that he could have charged you 100,000 naira for, and it will not be sufficient to pay him. Am I making sense? And that's given. But he didn't, have you noticed his slides are scanty? Have you noticed his slides are scanty? You notice that the core information, the one that is inside of him, is not on the slide. Am I making sense? Unless you were at this meeting and unless you wrote it down. Am I making sense? So he'll give you the slide. Why not? He would even give you the tape. But there are other things in him that he won't give you yet until you've earned the right to be given. Make sense? All right. So thank you all very, very much for making time. Like I said, I think I'm going to move to the pool. I can't be running my gym for 6 hours like this when people come late. And it will be cool and nice. And then if people are swimming, well, you'll have more to see. We have a screen, we'll put it out there and then we'll use it so that I can cut down on my bills because this is getting a bit heavy for me. All right, so because I thought we'll have a bigger attendance, that's why we chose to use this hall. And since the attendance is becoming this much, we can comfortably sit, and then I can also make arrangements for food. You know what I mean, so that you won't have to go out and get food. All right? You'll pay, but I'll make arrangements. All right, so God bless you and thank you. Let's say a very big thank you to Mr. Adeosi. I have a feeling you're going to see him again. And I will thank Mr. Emmanuel Silva for last week as well. And then, of course, let's thank Pastor Lumide for his sacrifice and his effort. Everything he does, he's learned the craft. He builds his own website. He does his own whatever. He's now learning how to do. By the time he finishes, I will be out of a job. And then, of course, we want to thank Ido and Joshua. There's a young man who was supposed to be here to share with you some tech tools, but he's confused. And he doesn't hang around long enough to get anything. That's Mr. Mayowa, but one day we'll finally help him. So thank you so much. We'll see you next Friday, and then one more Friday, and then we'll be done. But we'll meet at the poolside, so just come straight to the poolside. All right, God bless. I don't have to use generator for the poolside. All right, God bless you. We'll see you. All right.